This week we're going to talk about what to play between the verses of a congregational hymn. And we're talking more about when you're playing with the congregation singing and a song director leading. You can also use these tips for prelude, but it's a little bit easier to ad-lib between verses on a prelude because you can take more time. So we're really talking about, if we're limited to the time that's in that hymn book, what can we play on that last measure? Now, I'm on the hymn Showers of Blessing, and for the most part, most of us are pretty familiar with this type of ending before we go into the next verse. So that is definitely more of a basic way to transition between verses. And what's happening with this is it's just an echo chord. Whatever your last chord is, we're going to go up and echo it, and we're going to do it on the beat. Because we're in 6/8 and we're feeling this a little bit more like 1-2 rather than 1 2 3 4 5 6, that's typically going to be played 1 2 3 4 5 6. If we were in 4/4, maybe we're playing There Is Power in the Blood. We typically for 4/4 would do 1 2 3 and hold that out. But let's talk about a few more creative ways to do this. So for this one, I'm going to use an outline of my 1 chord, which is the chord that I'll end on. So if I have my B flat chord here, I'm going to outline it as an octave, and we're going to do it in both hands at the same time. So an outline as octaves would be, and I would hit the full chord in my right hand on the first one, and then I would outline it all the way up. Now in my left hand, same idea, but going down. So the timing would be 1 2 3 4 5 6. If we were in a song with 4/4 timing, our tempo would change just a little bit for this outline. So 4/4 timing would be 1 2 and 3 4. So that is an outlining option where both hands will outline going in the opposite direction. The next option we have is taking that last measure and splitting it in half, and doing the first half of it as the 1 chord, and the second half as the 4/5. Now, to make this a little bit more interesting and creative, when we are playing through this, we're creating some sort of melody line between the 1 chord and the 4/5 that is leading us back into the melody for that first measure. So let me demonstrate that. So I'm creating that melody line based on the chord that led me back to that melody. Let's take a hymn in 4/4, There Is Power in the Blood. This one I walked down because my melody was down here, so I had to again walk down that chord, and I did it as quarter notes. Now, if I wanted to start up the octave as opposed to bringing that melody back down here, but I wanted to bring it up here, we could go the opposite direction. So I worked my way up to the 4/5 and then landed on that 1. Another option is taking the 1 chord and adding the 2 to it. So if I'm in my B flat chord, and we use this on our introductions tip video, so if you watch that, you're going to be used to this. But here's my chord here, and I'm going to add the 2 to this B flat chord, which is C. I'm going to play those 4 notes as an octave. So watch what happens. My right hand will play the chord, octave, and the timing of this will be determined based on my time signature. So yeah, because I'm in 6/8, watch what happens when I play this rhythm as 1/8 notes. We land here on beat 5, which means I'm short. And so what I want to do is add something to this to finish out that measure. So I may have to do 1 2 3 4 5 6 and come down to that melody. 4/4, it's going to work out a little bit better, or even 3/4. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. So those are 3 ideas to use in transitions between verses of your hymns while you're playing with a congregation.